We are joined this morning by Dan Bardell from The Athletic and broadcaster Nubaid Haroon. Good morning to you both, gents. Thanks for joining us. Only one place to start then. A pretty ominous warning, wasn't it, from Man City? They demolished Leeds 7-0. And as I said, they've moved 4 points clear at the top of the table. Nubaid, have they laid down a marker, do you think, for this?
Morning, guys. I think, to be fair, if you've watched Man City over the start of this season, you'd know there was a big marker already out there. I think Leeds really played their part as well, but City do what they do best. They just pen teams in and frighten the life out of anyone they're going to be coming up against. But saying that, as I say, in my opinion, City fans will not be happy, but I honestly feel like Leeds played a really big part in that, in the 7-0 loss, and it could have easily been 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, there was some great goals scored as well. And it begs the question, Dan, some people have been suggesting for quite a while, over a season now, whether City actually need an out-and-out striker. Do they need a number 9? Will it cost them winning the title? But then when you see the form of someone like Phil Foden and how he just picks up the ball, finds space, scores goals, what do you think? Do they need one? Is it essential for them?
I think if they had one, the title race would be completely different. It's going to be very, very close between the three teams. But you're right. When you've got 4 or 5 very, very good, exceptional number 10s, the need for a number 9 isn't there. I agree with Nubaid that Leeds were all over the place defensively last night. Some really, really poor goals shipped. But you've got to look at the movement and the way Man City penetrate teams. It is frightening. Foden's one of the best in the league, one of the best players I've seen live. He's just absolutely incredible, and he's probably got 3 or 4 more gears to go up through his career. Really good to see De Bruyne back as well. Probably not good for Liverpool and Chelsea fans, but if they get him back as well and he has a run of fitness and a run of games, they're going to be an even more frightening proposition.
Just 3 wins from 17 for Leeds, Dan. Do you think some of their fans will be getting a bit nervous?
I think they'll be nervous, but I think they'll absolutely back Bielsa through all this. They've got a horrific amount of injuries at the moment. They've had injury problems all season. Their defence has been decimated, and that probably accumulated with shipping 7 against a very good Manchester City last night. They need to get players back. They'll need to pray they don't have any COVID absentees, because I don't think they can afford to have any more players out. And it wouldn't have made a difference last night, but Patrick Bamford's virtually missed the entirety of the season as well. So I think once they get a few players back, Leeds will move up the table, but they will be slightly concerned at the moment because the manner of that defeat last night was not good.
Yeah, it really wasn't. And there were question marks, Nubaid, about Kevin De Bruyne going into this game, about his form, about his fitness. He looked pretty good last night. Is he back to his best, do you think?
He's just a proper footballer, isn't he? He strikes me as the sort of guy that could be out for 2 years and come back and be perfectly fine. I still, honestly, the frightening thing is, if you watched him yesterday, you felt like he was still playing in second gear, and he gets 2 goals, and I think he ran the game, although obviously City generally ran the game. I thought he just looked really, really important to what they do. He's played it as a false 9. I don't think he'll play there anymore. I think he'll probably play a little bit deeper. And as Dan just said, if you're Chelsea, Liverpool, or anybody coming up against Man City and you're thinking, all right, we've got to stop Foden, okay, and we've also probably got to stop Mahrez, and now Bernardo Silva's in great form. Gundogan's coming back despite his back injury, and now we've got De Bruyne as well, and we've still got Sterling to think about because he's going to get better and better as the season goes on. So I think City are okay without a striker, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, their squad depth is simply frightening for some, Dan. But what about the title favourites now at this point? Because there's been a lot of debate, particularly between City, Chelsea and Liverpool. But with that performance last night, and we always seem to see City go on this run around Christmas, and it seems to last for the majority of the season, right up until May. Should we expect that again this year? Is this Man City's title now to lose?
I think you probably would make them just about favourites. I think Liverpool at full tilt for me. They're just a little bit better. Everyone fully fit, I would say Liverpool have got the most, but they've also got the African Cup of Nations. That's going to really, really hurt them, losing 2 really, really key players in the front 3, and it'll be interesting to see how they cope with that. Manchester City, they've got the depth, and that's one thing that they've got that's superior over Liverpool. Chelsea have fell away a little bit over recent weeks, picked up a few surprising results, but you'd expect them to pick up again. I think maybe the rotation factor for Chelsea has kicked in a little bit. I know they've had injuries in midfield, but it's almost different 11s every week for Chelsea, different front three every week, different back three, and sometimes that can lead to some disjointed displays, and that's what we've seen from Chelsea. A couple of slip-ups recently. Man City will be the favourites because they've got the biggest depth. They're the reigning champions. But Liverpool will definitely run them very close because, as I say, at their best, I think Liverpool are the best side in the league.
Yeah, we know that Chelsea play tomorrow. Liverpool play tomorrow as well. Does it give Man City an advantage to play first when they're competing against those teams in the title race, Nubaid?
When you're winning, yeah, I think anyone would be buzzing to play first. I think there's always a theory every year that a certain team gets to play first more times than another team. I think I read yesterday that Chelsea haven't had the opportunity to play first as many times as City or Liverpool, and that's why Chelsea are falling away, if you like. I don't know how many players actually pay attention to things like that. I think that's more of a fan theory that we have. City, when they're winning, obviously, it's not ideal that you go off and you've got to then go do your business because City just won, or Chelsea or Liverpool or whoever you're chasing down. I don't actually think there's a massive advantage because when your form starts to go wrong, let's say City lost to Leeds yesterday, all of a sudden it looks like it's an advantage to play second. So I think it works whichever way the form is going. That's probably how it sort of like works for the team and also the teams that are chasing.